Good day, brothers and sisters in Christ. Let me share with you my devotion for today from Ephesians chapter 6, verse 4, which says, Fathers, do not exasperate your children. Instead, bring them up in the training and instruction of the Lord. Every night, we do our family devotions together with our kids. A few months back, there have been instances when I would keep on tapping my girls' shoulders and whisper on their ears to stop all the noise and focus on our devotion. They would stop for a moment, then they would strike again. And because they behave like that, I thought that they did not really get the message from the tap, whisper, or look. I felt like distractions are real, and I regarded them as the distractions. I wanted them to act the way I wanted them to. I wanted them to sit up straight, bow their heads, and focus on the message. One night, while we were praying by the end of our devotion, my youngest daughter threw her arms on me and gave me a hug. That hug made me believe that God once again spoke to me, right then and there, and realize that the hug taught me certain lessons. Indeed, grace was exactly what was needed at that time. For the rest of our devotion, she and her sister sat attentively beside me and my husband and even said their own prayers. Sometimes as parents, we can feel and apply a lot of pressure on ourselves. It's a kind of pressure that if we are not careful, can become our children's pressure. As parents, we have this sincere desire to see our kids become their best and do their best, especially in following Jesus. After all, God calls us to help pass on faith to the next generation, as said in Deuteronomy chapter 6, verses 4 to 7. But the weight of this call can create fear. We can become gripped with anxiety, where we become overly controlling and demanding. We can easily lean in the direction of pressuring our kids to always do good and choose to set Jesus as their model. When we do, we begin to create a family culture that feels authoritative and rigid. Our children can feel the pressure to choose Jesus not because they want to, but because we want them to. What our hearts need is a reminder of the good news. The Apostle Paul puts it this way in Ephesians chapter 6, verse 4, which says, Fathers, do not exasperate your children. Instead, bring them up in the training and instruction of the Lord. It is by grace through faith that we can cross from death to life. The same grace that saved us has the power to save our kids. While God does His part, He asks us to do ours too. Parenting may be likened to the work of a farmer. We plant the seed, pull the weeds, nurture the soil, and guard the fields, similar to our children's hearts. All of it takes time, wisdom, patience, perseverance, and lots of trust in God. And just like the farmer, we cannot make things grow. We can only be faithful. As parents, we prepare our kids to one day choose Jesus in response to God's grace by planting the seeds of God's Word in their hearts. That's why we have the responsibility to teach them the Bible, to model Christ-like love, to endure trials well, and to talk often about the gospel of God's love and forgiveness. And ultimately, we act and show our kids that following Jesus is indeed the best way to live. Being a parent is never easy, but with God's help, let us heed on our calling to pass on the faith to our kids. Let us pray that when the choice is fully theirs, they choose to fully follow Jesus. To God be the glory. God bless everyone.